Hey guys, what's up? So today we're going to talk about how to study effectively. So let's get right into it. What we're going to talk about today is how to study. We're going to talk about how to make the most out of the time that you have. So there's 5 different tips which I'll include here, and then we'll get right into it. All right, the first tip is something called spaced practice. So what does that mean? It really means distribute the time that you take to study in different snippets, right? So you study for 1 hour, start getting tired, give it a break. Don't study anymore. Give it another hour, and then return back to your work. That's what spaced practice really means. And if you do that, studies have shown that your tiredness goes down and your efficiency in studying goes up. I really use spaced practicing, especially when I study for my MCAT. I know it's a 7.5-hour test, so I knew endurance was a huge, huge thing that I had to face. And how did I face it? I used spaced practicing. I take 5-hour-long practice tests, right? But I made sure that I had 5-minute breaks here and there, so I wasn't stressing myself out. But also during the studying, where I had to read chapters on end, I would give breaks between every 2 or 3 chapters. Why? Because I knew internally my brain was getting tired. Second up, we're going to talk about retrieval practice. Retrieval practice is when you really practice going back in your mind, reflecting on what you read, and then just assessing yourself throughout the day-to-day things. So when you're not actively studying, reading a book, you're thinking about the subject matter outside of the book and outside of your time studying. Doing that, research has shown, has built neural connections in your brain. And so those neural connections really solidify the content and concepts in your own mind. Next up, we have the idea of paraphrasing. So again, what does paraphrasing mean? Paraphrasing has to do with the idea of taking a concept, say half of a chapter, and taking that half of a chapter, condensing it into a summary of 5 sentences or 1 paragraph. So instead of reading 10 paragraphs and thinking of 10 paragraphs in your head, you read 10 paragraphs and break it down into 1 paragraph in your head. And the reason for that is because you can process the information in your mind, and instead of taking a large input and outputting a large output, you can really just sum things down into 1 narrow point. The 4th thing is pretty critical, and it's having a focused environment. A focused environment means that you have no distractions around you. There's no random ambient noises or things that can throw you off when you're trying to focus. Studying at home during the coronavirus is kind of difficult because there's so many different noise and activities. Everyone's working in the house, but you really need a quiet space. There's a couple things that you can do. You can put on headphones, and it would help you to listen to ambient noise or ambient background white noise, right? Another thing you can do is wear earplugs. Or third, maybe you can just go to another location and read the book there, study on your own time. And the 5th method for effective studying is reflecting. Reflecting is very critical. So again, it sort of goes in parallel with retrieval practice, but reflecting is really just thinking about the material on your own, not with your study books. So retrieval practice is you're actively thinking about the material, you're trying to reassess, trying to remember what was in the pages. But reflecting is knowing what's in the pages, just recognizing how much you've learned so far. A lot of effective studying is done by motivation, right? You want to continue learning because you know you've learned so much, and you find value in learning so much, and you just want to continue that path. So to build up your esteem, it's really worthwhile to reflect. And so with that, I think that video was pretty quick, and hopefully you guys have 5 new effective methods for studying. Now you can kind of put that in practice.